Hey guys, this is Joseph from Play Tennis, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I believe to be the most underrated shot in tennis, the slice backhand. I'm going to be sharing some key points on why I think it's such a great shot and how we can implement it in our own game to enhance our tennis. Firstly, what is a slice backhand? So if we first look at the standard backhand, where we go low to high in our motion to impart topspin on the ball, with the slice backhand, we're going high to low in our motion so we can impart backspin on the ball. So why is it so important that we try and add this to our arsenal of shots? Well, it's going to allow us to defend more effectively, because when we have that one arm on the racket, we can increase our reach and defensive capabilities when we're stretched out to try and get a difficult ball on the run. As well, we can use it to add variety to our game. So if we just hitting topspin shots all the time, the opponent's going to be able to predict what we're doing in the rally. However, if we occasionally throw in that slice backhand, it's going to mix it up, keep the opponent guessing, as well as change up the spin and the pace. Okay, so it can also act as a great neutralizing shot. Key point number one is, how do we hold the racket when executing the backhand slice? Firstly, we want to ensure that we're using the correct grip. The best grip for executing the backhand slice is the continental grip, aka the handshake grip. So it's like you're shaking hands with the racket. This is where your index knuckle is going to be on the second bevel of the handle. If you want more detailed information about grips, check out our grips video on Play Tennis YouTube. So after we've established holding the correct grip, that continental grip, we now want to execute the shot with our non-dominant hand on the throat of the racket as we take it back in that high motion. And then for the rest of the shot, we're going to bring the racket through with one arm in a downwards motion. So it's that high to low motion, as well as the racket going across the body. That's going to help us impart that nice underspin so we can have a beautiful looking backhand slice. Key point number two is, when is a good time to use the slice backhand? As discussed in the introduction already, we've mentioned that it's great for when we're on defensive mode, opponents hit a good shot, and you really have to stretch out to get the racket on the ball. So by using that one arm slice backhand, we're getting that extra reach. And in that high to low motion, we're going to add some nice underspin to the ball, which is going to make it tougher for the opponent to attack. On top of this, it's great in neutral rallies if we just want to add variety to our shots. And furthermore, we can use the slice backhand to attack the opponent. So you might have heard the term chip in charge. This is a very classical tennis style of play, but it's still used today by a lot of the professional players. It's where you can execute a backhand slice and charge into the net. Okay? Important to note, if you're going to try the chip in charge, that your backhand slice is good. And what makes a good backhand slice? Typically, we have a nice amount of underspin as well as pace. So you've got to ensure that the racket head speed is there. On top of that, we want to ensure that we keep the backhand slice low. Imagine if we dink it up and we hit a weak backhand slice that floats, the opponent is just going to pounce on it and attack us. Okay, so remember, hitting your backhand slice with a decent amount of underspin and pace, as well as keeping it low before you charge in to the net. Key point number three, and the final key point of today's video, is to not underestimate the backhand slice in terms of the things you can achieve by doing it and improving it, as well as what your opponent will be able to do to you if they implement it in their game. Often when I've spoken to players that I've competed with or coached, I found some of them sort of spoke down about hitting backhand slices. Some of them saw it as sort of a sissy shot. that you do when you don't want to commit to hitting an aggressive topspin backhand. But I beg to differ. I think it's an excellent shot that still has a place in a solid tennis player's toolbox. If we look at many of the professional players, they implement slice backhand into their game. So there's something to be said there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on the slice backhand. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment in the comment section below. I hope you found the tips useful. Stay safe.